So first I'm just going to edit in this bit about the sheath. Now this is from Orpheusleathercraft, which the guy's based in Greece, and I got this off Etsy. I will put the link in. Now I got the model. Underneath here it's got my initials stamped on it as well, but as it's got this on you can't see it, but it only matters for me to identify it. Now as you can see, this is really thick, good quality leather. It really is solid. I'll just show you how stiff it is. It's ever so stiff. Really is bomb proof. Now I've used this countless times and I'm over the moon with it. I think really I think I paid £40 with the loop and the initials. It does a few different options, but I wanted the dangler because if you sit down or anything like that, it adjusts to your body. Now this is so easy to put on. It does fit an army belt because I use that for my camping bushcrafting stuff. I use a military belt because it's more heavy duty. So it fits an army belt and it fits a normal civilian style belt. It really is great. I will show you the retention, but first I'll just show you this. Now it's quite solid, but not over the top tight. Now this is a 9mm fire steel, this one, as you can see. So I'm really impressed with this. I'm over the moon, in fact. That's why I've specially mentioned this, because it's just that good. Now I've used this a few times, about 5 times this sheath, like taking it out, proper bashed it about. This is the retention. I'm shaking it up, giving it some grief. That's not even moved. Moved the tiniest bit, 1mm. Now with leather sheaths like this, should it adjust, all you have to do is, I believe, you soak leather and then it will be tighter again. But I'm pretty sure if you emailed this guy and asked him, he'd let you know, because he's that good. I mean, I'll show you some of this stitching and stuff up close. It's all double stitched. It's absolutely amazing. He's waxed it round here, it looks all nice. I'm literally over the moon. Now I'd recommend this because, as I'm going to go on and on and on about it, I don't like the multi-mount system. It's not very good, because you lose your knife basically if you wish to wear it with just the plastic tube and the belt clip. You'd have to super glue it. Now for this price I don't expect to be doing things like that. It needs to be right first time. So I'd recommend this sheath. I'm going to edit this back into my video because it can't be missed because it's that good. Enjoy the video, folks. Thanks for your time. Folks, today I've got the Mora Garberg. Mine's the stainless steel version. I ordered the one with the multi-mount. However, I'd recommend the leather one because I didn't like the multi-mount. So I've got a custom sheath. So first I'm going to go on about this because I'm that impressed with it. I got this from Orpheusleathercraft and he's based in Greece, and that's on Etsy. I will pop a link in. Now I've ordered this custom leather sheath. It's got my initials stamped underneath here, AC, and it's got the dangler attachment. Now as you can see, that's easy to fit on any belt. It does fit on a military belt as well, for those who wanted to know that. You'd be looking to pay currently for this particular model £80 with the leather sheath, or £87 with the multi-mount. I personally don't like the multi-mount because what happens is I removed everything off it and just had the basic plastic sheath and the basic belt attachment. Now with this it becomes detached and it's possible to drop your knife. Now for this sort of price knife and how nice it is, I don't want to be losing it. That's like one of the most important things. You don't want to lose your knife, otherwise you're wasting your time. So it's got a grenade handle, like a puko style handle. It's made of hard plastic, really hard wearing. As you can see, it's easy to choke up on for that fine carving work. It has a full Scandi grind. It has the slightest micro bevel, although this will go in and sharpen it. It has a lovely 90-degree spine. I shall just show you this if we can get this on camera. It's brilliant for scraping the fire steel. I'll put that back. Now we're finished. So as you can see, it's got a lovely fire steel scraper, 90-degree angle. It's made of Sandvik 14C28N steel. Its Rockwell hardness is 58 HRC. It weighs in at 169 grams, which is 6 ounces. It's 10.8 centimeters, which is 4.25 inches. Its total measurement is 23.8 centimeters, which is 9.37 inches. Its handle is 11.9 centimeters, which is 4.72 inches. And it's got this lovely pommel on the back. Obviously it is full tang. It's got a nice hole for a dangler here, not a dangler, sorry, for a lanyard. I personally don't like a lanyard on this style of knife. Now the reason for that is if that does slip out your hand, now these come shaving sharp so you can shave hair. Now if I was to lanyard this and it was to slip, this knife's going to come back at me. Now I also don't like a lanyard on machetes and axes for this reason, because if it slips out of my hand, I'd rather the tool goes away from me and doesn't come back at me and hurt me, because if you was actually in the middle of nowhere and you happen to hack yourself with a knife, machete or an axe, you would be in a very dangerous situation. So my thoughts on this is Survival Lily's tested it and hammered it, so you know it will hold up to anything. I think really for £80 with a leather sheath for such a quality knife isn't that bad. Now this suits bushcraft. I've used it for bushcraft, as you can see where it's been scraped. I've took it on quite a few camping trips, this one, as you can see all the blemishes on it. It's easy to sharpen as it's a Scandi. You just lay its bevel flat and sharpen it on your stone. You can use it on a Lansky, which is what I will do because I love the Lansky, because I'm not particularly good at sharpening. All in all, I would recommend this for hunting because you can pretty much do any sort of game prep task. EDC if you're allowed it where you come from. I mean, obviously in England we can't, but for bushcraft it's cracking. I personally would not use it for a survival knife, for a bug out bag on its own, because my opinion is I would rather a much larger knife for a survival knife, because it's less likely to damage through battening. Now I'm not a fan of battening, I have an axe for that, but a survival knife as well, in my mind, bearing in mind we're not allowed knives for this in the UK, but if I was from America, for a survival knife you would want it to be over 5.5 inches, because 5.5 inches upwards is the recommended size for self-defense and getting the job done, so to speak. But in England we're not allowed knives for anything like that. We have them for utilitarian purposes only. So this is for bushcraft and camping only, although I'd happily take this hunting because it's so easily to sharpen and it will still get the job done. So all in all, I would recommend this. I shall be testing it along with all my other bushcraft knives. I have a lot of bushcraft knives and a lot of other fixed blades. I will test them all, but I'll have to get round to it. As I've previously mentioned, I'm going to test them in a setup, so I will get a few logs and do some feather sticking, battening, making tent pegs, that kind of stuff. And I'm also going to do some stuff when I go camping where I test these sorts of knives. Now you'll have to bear with me because I don't go camping every 5 minutes because I can't after work. So thank you for your time everyone, and I'd really recommend this. It's a cracking knife. Mora, so well known. I've got a lot of Moras to go through, but this is one of the best. There are a few budget options for people who don't have as much money, but I think you can't really go wrong. For less than £100 for this, I think you're getting a bargain really. And as I previously mentioned, it's well thought of by Dutch Bushcraft Knives and Survival Lily, all big YouTubers who've hammered it, and it's stood up to the test. So, all in all, good knife. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time, and goodbye.